Good evening and welcome to the hour dedicated to talking about all things strange, weird, and paranormal. You're listening to Strange Talk, broadcasting on 1660 AM in Northside and 91.7 FMHD2 WVXU in Cincinnati. We're also streaming at radioartifact.com around the entire planet Earth. The intro track to this episode and most of our episodes is the Strange Talk intro by Starsilk. And I'm your host, Alyx. And we have a super special guest tonight. If you would like to introduce yourself.
Copperhead from the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum.
Yeah. Not imprisoned there, but doing tours there.
Well, that's debatable.
Yeah. We were talking a bit before we started recording. You said you've been there for 10 years now, which is honestly amazing.
Yeah, it's been, I was there 8.5 years and was a guide first, then an assistant manager. Mm-hmm. And then, like I said, got burned out and I left for about 7 years and got invited back, and I've been there about 1.5 years. Mm-hmm. Yeah, about a year and a half now, I believe is right.
Yeah. Well,
so
you've definitely been there a long time, and I'm sure you probably know that place, or at least, the paranormal side of it better than, I don't know, has anyone else been there longer than you at this point?
There's one that has been there, I think this will be her 11 years. So, yeah, and let's see, she started right about the time I left. Mm-hmm. So, or just before I left, somewhere in there.
She knew someone else had to take up the mantle on who's been there longest.
Yeah.
So how did you get into paranormal investigating?
It was back when I was in Missouri. Mm-hmm. I knew that I could feel stuff, but I really didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
And me and a buddy of mine, have you ever heard of Wilson's Creek National Battlefield?
Yeah.
Okay. That was not too far from where I lived. And me and a friend of mine used to ride our horses up there. They'd let us ride on the road. And we were riding up Old Wire Road towards Bloody Hill. Mm-hmm. And that was one of the worst battles around.
Yeah.
And we were riding towards it. And I told my buddy, I said, man, this feels weird. Yeah. I said, it's like we're being watched. And about that time, the horses' ears went forward, and they were perking up like they could sense something. And we're riding towards it, and I'm like, man, it feels like they're getting ready to come over the hill.
Yeah.
And we rode through and everything and got back and was getting ready to put the horses up. And the park ranger, he come up and he says, "How was the ride?" And, "Yeah, it's good, man." And I said, "It was kind of weird over towards Bloody Hill." I said, "The horses sensed it and I sensed it." I said, "It was like they were ready to come over the hill at us."
Oh gosh.
And he looked at me and he says, "You don't know what today is, do you?" And I'm like, "What?" He said, "Today's the anniversary of the battle."
Oh my gosh.
And so that was that made me like, And then my neighbor, when I lived in Nixa, my neighbor next door, he said, "My house is haunted." And I'm like, "Yeah, whatever. You know, I'm from Missouri. Show me." And anyway, I never did really believe it. And he called me over one day. He says, "I need some help trying to figure out how to fix this bathroom floor." And I'm like, "All right." And I work construction, so I went over and was looking at it. I looked at him. I said, "Your wife home?" He said, "No." I said, "You sure?" He said, "Yeah,
Oh no.
he's at work." And we're sitting there looking at this, and we do pre-1840 Mountain Man, the Mountain Man rendezvous, and French and Indian War, Revolutionary War, that kind of stuff.
Uh-huh.
And his wife made dresses, and a woman walked past in a white mop cap, an apron, and a blue dress. And I'm like, "What?"
Yeah.
And I said, "I thought you said she wasn't home." He said, "She's not." I said, "She just walked by." And I stepped out in the hallway and looked. And at the end of the hallway, it was turned looking at me, but it was only from the knees up. Nothing was touching the floor.
Oh, that's so creepy.
And I'm like, uh. And he come over and he says, "You see her, you see her." And he put his head, and as his head broke the plane of the doorway, the door jamb,
Yeah.
she disappeared. She just disappeared. And
Oh gosh.
he said, "You saw her." I said, "I don't know what I saw. I'm going home." And I said, "Don't bother me." I said, I got to mull this over a little bit." And I went to the house and sat there for a little while. His wife come home and come over and knocked on the door, and she says, "I hear you saw our friend." And I described her, and she started laughing. She says, "You know, you're the only man that's ever seen her."
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, "What?" She says, "It's always kids and women."
Wow.
She said, "You are the only man that has seen her." So that got me wondering. And yeah, it's just snowballed since then.
Yeah. You were like, all right, what else is out there?
And then, like I said, when we moved here, I can't remember exactly when we started down at the asylum. What year? But like I said, my wife was a guide first, a daytime guide, the history, and then she moved into the paranormal nighttime stuff. And I got my first tour from, like I said, Sue Parker she was a nurse there, and while it was in operation.
Wow.
And then she became a historical guide.
Yeah.
And then she did paranormal. And Miss Sue gave me my first paranormal tour. And most of the people were staying around her. I was like a kid in a candy store.
Yeah.
I was walking down the ward away from everybody when we had a few minutes to check stuff out. I was running around checking stuff out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was wild.
That is really
My first EVP in there was down in the Civil War kitchen.
Yeah.
We were walking out, and I call it the Civil War kitchen. It's just the kitchen. It's in the Civil War section.
Yeah.
We were walking out, and I told this guy, I said, "Man," I said, I don't know if you feel stuff or not. He's like, what? I said, I don't know if you feel stuff or not. I said, but something's here.
Yeah.
And as I was saying that, this guy was whistling Dixie.
Oh, wow.
And then it says, huzzah, at the end of the EVP.
Oh, that is so creepy.
And I got home and I'm listening to all my stuff. And when I heard that, I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
But yeah, it's an interesting place
Yeah.
for sure.
Is that EVP up on your YouTube page?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. It might be.
I'll look through later. I see one on here that was in the Civil War section in the cafeteria area. I'm not sure if that's the same one though.
It might be.
Okay.
I've got so many, and like I said, I haven't posted to my YouTube in quite a while. I do have some evidence and stuff I'm getting ready to post to that.
Yeah.
Again, I need to get that rolling.
I know it's hard to keep up with all that stuff.
Yeah. Like I said, I've got my Copperhead Facebook page. Then I think it's Copperhead 638 TikTok. And then my YouTube is at Copperhead GH.
Yes.
So I'm pretty easy to find.
Yeah. Keeping it consistent across things.
I tried to.
Oh, that's great. So is that EVP, is that like kind of up there for like some of the creepiest things you've seen while at the asylum?
No.
Not at
all. No. This last weekend, last Saturday night, when I'm guiding, I always do a little icebreaker with my group, right?
Yeah.
So I get to know them, they know who I am and all this good stuff. And I was doing that, and at the end of Ward 1, or at the beginning of 4, I couldn't tell where it was coming from. It sounded like somebody set a chair down real hard.
Oh.
A wooden chair, and we do have the Ward 1 is completely restored.
Yeah.
And they've got antiques and stuff all down through there, so you got to be careful in there.
Yeah.
But I hear this, and I'm like, what? And I turn around, I'm looking, I kind of turn to look back at my group. I said, that was interesting. And I get ready to start talking again, and it does it again. And I said, okay. And I took off down the ward. Well, I figured my group would follow me. They stayed right there by the exit door.
Oh my gosh.
And I walked down to check it out, and I couldn't figure it out. I looked in all the rooms and everything, and I couldn't figure it out. I come back, and then I gave them the tour and got everything done. And I told them, I said, I'm going to go back over to 1 and see if I can figure this out.
Yeah.
And I went back over to Ward 1, and they were all in the Civil War section and in Ward 4. And then Ward 4 can be a little creepy too. But I went over and I'm standing there by the exit door at the end of the ward on 1, looking towards the center section. And I thought, well, I'm gonna call the manager. Ree was managing, so I said, I thought I'm gonna call her. I call her and I said, did you hear that? And she's like, well, I'm out back. She was back in the office working on paperwork. And I asked her who was above me to see if they heard it. Well, they were on the other side of the building, so they didn't hear it.
Yeah.
And as I'm talking to Ree, I'm looking up the hallway, and I see my shadow on a door about a third of the way up the ward. And I'm looking at the shadow. I'm talking to Ree, and I look down, and my shadow's on the floor in front of me. I'm like, what? And I looked back up, and the shadow that was at the door turned and went into the room.
Oh, that is one of the creepiest things I've ever heard. Oh.
I may or may not have said a few things, and Ree said, are you okay? I said, yep. I said, I just watched the shadow that I thought was mine walk into a room.
It's worse when you think it's yours.
He says, "Go check it out." I said, "I'm already on my way." I said, "I'll call you back here in a little bit." And I
Wow.
went in. I went into the room and tried to get something going, and it wouldn't. It wouldn't communicate with me at all.
Yeah, I guess it was just done after
So
that.
I went and met up with my group. Well, one of the couples, they come out, and I told them what happened, and they went over to the door,
Mhm.
and she had a K2. The K2 started going crazy,
Yeah.
and I walked up, and the K2 kind of quit.
Yeah.
So I backed away. The K2 started going crazy. I'm like, okay, you all see what you can get.
Yeah.
Obviously, it doesn't want to talk to me.
Apparently not.
So I turned and went on, and not really. My groups, my groups really didn't need me around. I don't guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
And when that happens, I usually just go sit somewhere and watch and all this good stuff.
Yeah.
And I've got a really creepy picture from Ward 4. I was sitting on the church pew,
Uh-huh.
and it's from a few months back.
Wow.
I'm sitting there and I got a crazy feeling, and I took a picture. Well, when I'm guiding, I don't really have time for me to do what I like to do. So I had a couple of ladies walking up, and I heard one of them say, "Did you see that?"
Uh-huh.
And so I just glanced at my picture, and I didn't really pay attention to it. And then I shut it off, and they come up and they said, "Did you see that?" I said, "See what?" And they said a lady walked out of the room into the hallway
Uh-huh.
and then went back in. Well, I didn't see that. In my
Interesting.
picture, right at just past where they were talking about,
Mm-hmm.
there's a big black mass on the floor, and it blocks the wall and the doors and everything.
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
it blocks them out.
Yeah.
And it's got a round spot like a head
Mm-hmm.
on part of it.
Wow.
And so I got home and I was looking through my pictures, and I was like, "What?" And I blew it up and I looked at it. I'm like, "Holy crap."
Yeah.
But I just got that weird feeling.
Yeah.
So I took a picture. And I've been told, and I don't claim it myself, I've been told that I'm a sensitive. I just know I'm me and I do what I do.
Right. Exactly.
You know, I don't put oh, a label on myself, I guess.
Well,
Uh,
I mean, it's sounds like it's been a normal part of your life. So, I mean, it's just normal for you, even though it's paranormal.
yeah, yeah. Well, my wife bought me a shirt one time, and it actually says "paranormal is my normal."
Amazing.
So, but we, I've like I said, I've just been submersed in it now.
Yeah.
When I first started, a lot of the guides that were there, I had to go down on lockup lobotomy recovery one night after flashlight tours.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him, I said, "Yeah, I'll go lock up for you." And I hollered at one of the guys and I said, "Come on, let's go." He said, "I'm not going with you." I'm like, "What?" He said, "I'm not going with you." And I looked over at his brother and I said, "Do you want to go?" He says, "No." I'm like, "What? You guys are going to make me walk this by myself?"
Oh, no.
And they're like, "Yeah, we're not going with you." They said, "You're a freaking magnet." And they said, "Stuff happens around you all." And yeah. And I'm like, "Dude, that's why you're here." He said, "No, it's not." So I had to walk down to lobotomy recovery from the center section by myself.
Oh, my gosh.
And Ward D, I usually don't use flashlight.
Mm-hmm.
And Ward D, almost every paranormal guide there hates Ward D.
Yeah.
It's just one of those wards that just, yeah.
It's weird things
And
happen and, like, not a good weird.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I went down and went into the cage. I locked the cage door, went down the stairs, locked the bottom door, walked all the way across the lobotomy recovery, and it was feeling really weird.
Yeah.
And I reach for the door and I'm opening it up, and I get kicked in the butt as just like somebody read back and kicked me with a work boot.
Mm-hmm.
And it actually lifted me forward.
Wow.
And at first it scared me.
Yeah.
And then my red hair took over and I got mad.
Correct order of operations.
And I started in. I said, I don't touch you. You don't touch me. I was just going off. And I've been down there before or later with a group, and the lady didn't want to go down there.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't go past the half wall.
Yeah.
I'd get a headache immediately. And I'm watching down there, and this, oh my gosh, he's huge. I'd give him probably 7 foot,
Wow.
easy. And he walks out into the doorway and is looking right at me. And I'm standing there, and my group is walking through him.
Yeah.
And when they're walking out, they're wiping their face and feeling for cobwebs.
Oh wow. Yeah.
And they're walking through him, and he's right there. And I'm standing there looking, and the lady standing there with me, she leaned over and she says, "Can't they see him?" I'm like, "What?"
Oh my gosh.
She could see him too.
Yeah. But
And
no one else could?
no.
Wow.
And we were sitting there, and finally it was time to move on, so we moved to a different location. And I got to where I could go down and talk with him.
Mm-hmm.
I called him the big guy because he never would give me his name.
Yeah.
And I walk in and say, "Hey, big guy," and I'd get a session going. And one of the wildest ones was flashlight tours. It was the last one
Mm-hmm.
that was coming through there for the season. And I told my group, I said, "Hopefully he's not burned out." I said, "We'll see." And I've got those little mini mag lights that twist.
Yeah.
Okay, I twisted it where it was barely off.
Uh-huh.
And I stood it up on that concrete floor, standing straight up.
Uh-huh.
And I backed away. And I said, "Hey, big guy," I said, "I know you're tired of the dog and pony show." I said, "But the people I've got with me really would like to know that you're here. Can you turn that light on for me?"
Uh-huh.
Immediately came on.
That's so cool.
And I said, "Okay, just to prove that I'm not doing this, I'm going to count to 3. When I say 3, shut the light off." And I went 1, 2, 3, and it went off.
Wow.
And they're like, "Oh my gosh, oh my gosh." And I told him, I said, "I know you're tired of this."
Mm-hmm.
I said, "And I've got a bunch of chickens in my group." I said, "If you want to see them run, turn that light on, knock it over." I never dreamed it would do it.
Yeah.
The light came on and fell over.
Oh my gosh.
And my group, "Oh my God, he doesn't want us here. He doesn't want us here." I said, "Just calm down." And I was laughing. I went over and picked up my light. And I said, "Thanks, big guy." I said, "That gets me out of here earlier tonight too."
I love
I
that he
said, "I'll
was
be
so
back."
down for that.
I said, "I'll be back to talk to you later." And I shut off the light and we went on. And my group couldn't get out of there fast enough.
Yeah.
And I was locking up that night as we went. But yeah, that's one of them. And I don't know if I've got that picture posted on my Copperhead page or not.
Yeah.
One of the wildest ones, and I had never seen it. And Brandy is the manager, and she was there for a filming or something, and went down and had to go through Ward 4.
Mm-hmm.
And on the way down Ward 4, Oh, he's a creepy dude. It come out on its hands and feet out into the hallway,
Oh, yeah.
and then it shot over into the day area, and she went down, locked up, and went back out on the sidewalk back to the center section.
Uh-huh.
She didn't go back through the building. Well, they put that on the flashlight tours,
Yeah.
and my flashlight tour, I had went down Ward 4 that time, and I went through and I said something about it, and I took them down and out, and none of my group, because if they have tickets, we take them back through with us.
Yeah.
Well, none of my group had tickets, so I get to walk back by myself. No biggie. I turned the corner and that thing crawled
Uh-huh.
out in the middle of the floor, and I'm like, "No, not tonight.
No, not
We're
tonight.
not. We're not doing this." And it turned and went back in the room, and I come up there and I was shining my flashlight in there, and I was looking around. I didn't see anything. I shut my flashlight off, kept walking, and then the next flashlight tour was the exact same.
Wow. So it was
And
repeatable too.
I went down and let them all out, and I'm like, crap. And I walked over and I looked, he come out in the hallway. I'm like, dude, I'm telling you, not right now. Not right now. And I kept walking. I was walking slow, but kept walking. And it went over into the day area, and I don't know where it went.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen it one other time since then. And there's one. Did you watch Nick and Katrina when they were there? When they were at the asylum and they stayed the night
I don't think I've seen
and
that
they
one.
slept. Well, they were up on Ward R,
Uh-huh.
and the cameraman was facing them, which is facing the transition hall into S,
Yeah.
and they caught it on camera crawling on the floor and going out the door to S. And that's I had since quit working down there.
Yeah.
But when that thing popped up on the thing, I was jumping around. Oh my gosh, they got it! They got it! They got it! I'd seen it. I'd seen it probably 3 times,
Uh-huh.
and I didn't know the story. And everybody was calling it the creeper, and I've told everybody to quit calling it that.
Yeah, that's probably gonna make it mad.
Because there was some kind of a ruckus up there one night, and they sent either the security or an orderly up.
Mhm.
And he went to check and got up there, and there was a pile of clothes laying down at the far end of R, and he's like, what? So he walks down to check out this pile of clothes. Well, the pile of clothes came to life.
Oh.
And this is when it was in the operation. And there was a lady patient in there that didn't have any legs.
Wow.
And I'm wondering if that's not her.
Wow, yeah.
And I've been trying to communicate, but I can't. When she decides to show herself, she's boogieing away.
Yeah.
And my very first night back, we saw shadow figures down at the end of S. So we walked down that way first.
Mm-hmm.
And we go over into R. And the first room on the right, I stopped about there. And my whole group was lined up, and I was telling them about stuff. And there's you can see like somebody peeking out the window down at the far end.
Yeah.
On the bottom right corner. And it happened. So we're sitting there watching that. And the lady had an ovulus, and the ovulus said, can't see.
Oh.
And I had a trainee with me that night.
Yeah.
And the trainee turned on her flashlight.
Uh-huh.
And the Ovilus immediately said, "Back off."
Ooh.
And she shut it back off. Well, then I hear like hands slapping and something being drugged
Interesting. Yeah.
to my right. And I looked, it came out of that first room and went behind all of my people and out the door.
Wow.
And nobody saw it because she turned on her light.
Oh my gosh. So you were the only one who saw it.
And blinded all them.
Oh my gosh.
And I was looking at the far end when she turned on her light. And when I
Yeah.
see a light come on, I will not turn to look at it.
Oh, I wish I could train myself out of doing that.
And they were all, you could see them all twirling and looking down, trying to see what was scooting past them.
Mm-hmm.
And that was my very first night back.
Oh, wow. They were
guiding.
like, welcome back.
Uh-huh. And I've turned, oh man, there's so much that has happened in there.
Yeah. Have you found there's like a time of year that it's more active there?
No.
No, just all through the year.
No. Yep.
Yeah.
You never know. Scott Sukkel used to work at OSR.
Mm-hmm.
And Rochelle was at Hillview. And we were going to bring in Sharon Coyle up at Rolling Hills.
Mm-hmm.
What we were doing was, when we were all three working at the same time, we'd keep in touch and see what the activity was doing.
Oh, that's smart.
Now, this is absolutely wild. One night, 2:00, it just stopped. The building went quiet. Nothing was going on. You couldn't get anything to happen. And I messaged Scott and I said, "How's your activity?" This was about 2:30. He said, "Dude, it was like somebody shut off a light switch at 2:00.
Yeah.
And it was the same with Rochelle.
Wow.
At 2:00. And that's one in Pennsylvania, one in Ohio, and one in West Virginia.
Yeah.
They all three stopped
That's so creepy.
at 2:00.
That's super creepy.
And we've seen so many shadow figures.
Shadow figures are the common one, it seems like.
Yeah, and I've seen more shadow figures since I've been back.
Yeah.
This time, and it's kind of strange.
Mm-hmm.
I know my energy has probably changed.
Yeah. From
being gone for so long.
Yeah.
And the building's energy isn't the same.
Interesting.
As it was when I left.
Yeah.
And I think it's basically me having to relearn the building.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Now, there's a few that I've got one that I always go talk to. None of the other guides like going back there. He doesn't like people. And for some strange reason, he likes me. And I'll go back there and sit and get my dowsing rods out, do a session, talk with him for a little bit, leave him a cigarette, and go on.
Maybe that's why he likes you.
And I found him on accident.
Mm-hmm.
There used to be one named Sarge.
Yeah.
I found him. I have this uncanny knack of finding the ones that don't want to be found. I mean, it doesn't pay very well every once in a while. And the one, I found out he was a sergeant in the Civil War, but I didn't know which side.
Mm-hmm.
He hated me with a passion. And me and another guy were sitting in there one night, and we're in there. It's quiet. We're just sitting on the floor, and I hear, I'm like, what? I said, dude, did you hear that? He said, hear what? I said, just said Copperhead.
Yeah. Wow.
He said, what's that? I said, that's me. And I got my audio recorder out and I went over and I said, okay, you know me. What tell me your name. And the EVP came back, you know me.
Oh.
And I'm like, no, I don't. That's why I asked. And we had a basically hate relationship. Um, I never told anybody about him for a long time.
Uh-huh.
I kept that one to myself.
Yeah.
And reason being, um, we get people that say they can talk to spirit and all this stuff, right?
Yeah.
So if I'm the only one that knows about that one, I take them there.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
this guy told me one night, he says, yeah, my whole group's sensitives and we can feel and sense and talk. And I'm like, okay. And Miss Sue was there then. And that night we were stationed on that floor.
Mm-hmm.
And I took this guy in there and I said, go over to that corner. Tell me what you get. He stood there and he was rubbing his chin and nodding his head. He'd look up at me and he says, yep. He said, he hates you. I'm like, okay. He said, he thinks you're the reason he's here. I'm like, what? He said, you remind him or you look like the person that put him in here.
Oh.
And I'm like, okay. He said, he's a sergeant. He was a sergeant for the Union Army.
Mm-hmm.
And he says he's got dementia. And you're never going to convince him you're not the one. And he told me, he said, be careful. He's going to hurt you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. Well, I never really believed all the TV stuff,
Yeah.
that you could get scratched or punched or whatever
Yeah.
until that night.
Yeah.
Me and that guy was walking out, and Miss Sue and one of the ladies that was in his group. I went through a room and they were coming down the hallway. So there's a wall between the two of them.
Uh-huh.
So there's no way they could have spoke or anything.
Yeah.
Sue goes into the cafeteria with this lady and she goes over into that corner. Immediately she says, what's up with that corner? Well, Sue doesn't know. And Sue's like, I don't know. So she said the lady went over in the corner and was rocking back and forth and scratching herself and just, she said, oh my gosh, she says, I thought she'd lost her mind. She says, I thought I was going to have to come get you.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
And she's sitting there and then all of a sudden Sue said she just went straight and looked right at her and said, you tell that guy with the long hair to stay out of here. He's going to kill him.
Wow.
And so she came and told me all this. And I'm like, interesting. Well, we're stationed down there. There's no way around it. I have to go in there.
Yeah, there's no other choice.
And I went in, and two of the people that were taking the groups back and forth were standing there with me.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what it feels like when somebody, the air nozzle that you put on an air hose and you push the button and it blows?
Yeah.
Okay. It felt like somebody did that in my face.
Oh.
And my hair went, and it was a little longer then. It hit both of those two guys in the face. And they turned and looked at me, and I doubled over. It felt like somebody punched me with everything they had.
Wow.
And it felt like electricity went through me. But I'm going to chalk that up. It was probably adrenaline.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's fair.
But I couldn't breathe. I couldn't talk. I mean, it hit me hard,
Yeah.
and they took me out into another room. They said, "Are you okay?" And I shook my head no, and they walked me out of there and then got in another room, and I'm standing in there.
Mhm.
It took me about 10 minutes to get where I could talk and breathe.
Wow. It just like
And
full on knocked the wind out of you.
oh yeah, he drilled me. And I told him, I said, "Get everybody out." They said, "What?" I said, "Take everybody up to Ward 4 and Ward 1.
Hmm.
They said, "What are you going to do?" I said, "Me and him's going to have a talk." My temper took over, and they got everybody out. They took them up to Ward 4, and that's where Lily's room is. So a lot of them went in there.
Mhm.
And I shut the door to the cafeteria and I got loose. And I said, "You can hit me when I ain't looking." I said, "I'm looking now. Do it again." Oh, I was mad. And nothing happened.
He just backed down at that point, I
And,
guess.
well, he probably used all of his dang energy to let me have it the first time.
Yeah, that's true.
And, but anyway, I never did get anything that bad again.
Yeah.
That was the one and only time that he really let me have it. But he would make me feel so uncomfortable.
Hmm. Did you still see him after that, or?
I did for a while, but when I came back, I walked the building by myself
Hmm.
so I could get the feel for it. And I got to the cafeteria and I look at that door and I'm thinking, "Oh crap." So I just walked in.
Hmm.
Nothing.
Hmm.
I mean, it was just like walking into my house. I'm like, "What?"
Yeah.
Well, then I come to find out, the way I found out exactly who he was is they had a cemetery room
Uh-huh.
at one time as a museum room. And I was being led and drawn to that room for some reason that day.
Yeah.
And I went in there and I turned and I walked in. And it was like something told me to look at the wall. And I turned and looked at the wall. And there it was, Jasper Wyatt.
Oh, wow.
He was a sergeant in the Union Army, died of dementia. It was all laid out right there.
Oh, wow. So
And
you
I'm like,
actually ended up getting to know his name and everything.
yeah. And I was like, "You got to be kidding me." So I made a beeline down to the cafeteria. And I kind of screwed up. I didn't think about it when I did it.
Yeah.
I said, "Sergeant Jasper Wyatt, front and center."
Oh,
That was stupid,
yeah.
but it confirmed it.
Yeah.
Well, then I don't know exactly who came. I don't know if it was military or a history group or something.
Mhm.
Found out about him and found his plot out in the graveyard
Oh,
out
wow.
back,
Yeah.
and they put a Civil War headstone.
Oh, that's cool.
The Sarge isn't in the cafeteria anymore.
Yeah. So maybe that's, I mean,
He-
maybe that's
It
all
put
he
him.
needed.
It put him at peace. Is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, that sounds
Because
right.
I've not run into him since, and
Yeah.
it's kind of sad and kind of not.
Yeah. Well, it's good he's at peace, but in some ways, you kind of miss seeing him, even if he did, smack you.
Oh yeah, and I know people think I'm nuts. I've had here's the absolute craziest one.
Hmm.
This is the absolute craziest one.
Yeah.
My son was a guide, and he had two separate groups in his group that night,
Hmm.
and they weren't getting along. And he messaged me and said, can you come help me?" He said, "Bring my other group." He said, "We're getting some really good stuff in the uh, back in the kitchen."
Hmm.
I said, "Okay." So I found him and I told him. We went in there. Well, he was wearing I've got a navy peacoat,
Hmm.
and It's a true Navy peacoat. I got it at a Goodwill.
Mm-hmm.
And anyway, he's wearing my peacoat. Well, he got scratched.
Oh wow.
They didn't like him wearing my peacoat.
Oh, were they just
And
used to you wearing it? I guess.
yeah, and I bought a new Tascam audio recorder, and I had a set of headphones on, listening real
Uh-huh.
time. And it was time to leave and go home. And he's putting his stuff up. The group's leaving,
Mm-hmm.
and I walked. There's some bathrooms in the back of that. And I walked to that doorway and I stuck the audio recorder through there. And I said, well, I hope you said something in this red light. The most, I don't even know really how to describe it. The only way I can describe it is, have you ever heard a pig when it's really mad?
Mm-hmm.
That squeal?
Yeah.
Okay. That was the scream,
Oh wow.
basically. And a shadow figure came up out of the floor right in front of me at the end of my hand where the audio recorder was.
Wow.
And I jumped back. I said, Jesus God, and I'm backing up, and Andrew turned it into R-rated because he said, what the and yeah, and then it just disappeared. And you can hear my group running away. His group running away. And he looked at me and I said, get that crap packed up. We got to get out of here.
Yeah.
And he's packing his stuff up. And he said, what was that? I said, I have no idea. And I still swear, I bet that was Sarge.
Could be. I mean.
And I still, to me, I think it was.
Yeah.
And anyway, I told Andrew, I said, get your stuff put up and get out of here. And I'm right behind you.
Yeah.
And I backed out. I kept watching that, and I'm thinking to myself later, it's like a lot of good that did. You know, it could have been walking right there beside me laughing about it.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah. And then 4th floor on T.
Mhm.
This one was wild. I had a kid bring a glow-in-the-dark dog ball.
Uh-huh.
And he rolled it down the ward. And it was sitting down there. And he said, can you move the ball? And it starts moving.
Oh.
After it stopped.
Yeah.
And I said, where did you get that? He said, Amazon. And so now I own one.
Yeah.
And I'll light it up. I've got a 2000 lumen flashlight. And I'll light that sucker up. And then send it down the ward.
Uh-huh.
And there's a screen that goes across at the end of the ward. There's a fan. And there's a screen that goes over it. Well, the screen was off and sitting up against the wall for some reason that night.
Mm-hmm.
And I rolled the ball down. And it's moving around. And it stops. And we're all sitting there watching. And I said, can you move the ball for us? It starts moving around. My whole group, there's 12 of us total up there.
Mm-hmm.
And the one lady said, it's off the floor.
Oh.
And I'm like, what? And I looked, and it was off the floor. Like somebody moving around with it.
Yeah.
And this one guy was videoing. You can't tell it on the video because he's shaking too bad.
Yeah. I mean, I probably would be too.
Picked up, and I said, well, why you got it up? Throw it back down here so I don't got to walk down and get it. And so far, they've never thrown it back yet.
Yeah, hopefully one day.
But we went down, and it got put back down, and it moved away from us, towards the wall, away from us.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just stopped.
Huh.
And I said, well, I guess you're done. And this guy says, I'll walk down with you. So we walked down there.
Uh-huh.
And I went to get the ball, and it is behind the screen.
Oh, so it like phased through.
And there's no way that it could have rolled and went behind it.
Yeah.
It had to be set down over the screen.
Yeah.
And we were all like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But it's
so
been
creepy.
It's been picked up. It's been picked up, I think, 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
And rolled around. There was one night I rolled it down the ward, and it was about 1.5 feet off the right side walls and doors. It was, I mean, I sent it. It was moving pretty good.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you hear it like it hit something. And it immediately did a 90 and went across the ward and hit the other wall, and then it pinballed off the walls all the way down after that.
Yeah.
And I turned on my light, and there was nothing it could have hit. There was nothing. It was like somebody kicked it.
Yeah.
And it just shot straight across the ward. And my whole group, they about got up and ran away when that happened. I started laughing.
Yeah, that's creepy. The having a glow in the dark ball for that is really genius.
Well, I never dreamed about that kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And everybody buys all these expensive things, and
yeah,
me, I've got 2 K2s.
Mm-hmm.
I just got a REM pod and an S box. I've got a spirit box and a speaker. And then I bought at Lowe's they're like the stick-on lights for nighttime.
Yeah.
They're motion lights. I bought 2 of them at Lowe's for like $18.
Yeah.
And I'll set them things up, and I've had them turn on. I'll ask them. I'll hear footsteps out in the ward or something, and I'll say, well, come on in.
Yeah.
And everybody's in the room. The light's outside of the room where nobody can make it go off, and it turn on.
Yeah.
And everybody always freaks out when that happens.
Yeah. No, that's creepy.
But I use them a lot.
Yeah. No, that anytime you can find good cheap equipment like that is always great.
Yeah, I mean, I like all the fancy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I've got this REM pod. It's not went off for me yet. It's never went off.
I feel like that's how it goes, though. If you spend time or money on it, it never works. But if you find cheap, it works just fine.
I got a good deal on it. I got it in the S box.
Mm-hmm.
Off of a lady for $100 for both of them. And the S box, I can't get anything out of it, and I can't get anything out of the dead gum. And me, I've been in construction too long. So a spirit box and that S box is hard for me to hear.
Yeah. Yeah.
I usually record it and then let my kids listen to it.
I feel like kids can kind of hear things we can't always anyway.
Oh, that scream. That night that scream happened. Usually if you hear it with your ears, you don't pick it up on audio.
Yeah.
I got it.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
I've got it. And I need to get it posted on my YouTube.
Yeah, no, I would love to take a look at that.
And then, oh man, like I said, there's just so much stuff that has happened.
Yeah.
Over the years and just recently.
Yeah.
Out back in the back buildings.
Mm-hmm.
Did you watch Josh Gates and them? when they came?
No, I haven't watched that one yet.
Okay,
I've got a bunch of them queued up. I kind of like going into it, a little bit blind, where I'm like, I want to watch it afterwards so it doesn't sway my opinion.
Yeah. Well, they were talking about a scream, and I'd never heard it. And Zach was out back. He was in medical. I was in geriatrics. Jess was up in forensics. And I heard a big loud bang downstairs. So I told my group I'm going to go see if something fell over or something, And so I went down to the bottom of geriatric. And it was summertime. It was so hot in that thing. I thought, I'm going to step outside and get some air while I'm down here. So I stepped outside. No more did I step outside. And this blood-curdling scream, like a woman was being murdered. That's what it sounded like.
Wow.
And I carry that big flashlight with me for emergencies.
Yeah, good to have.
And I kicked that sucker on, and I'm looking up in front of medical. I'm looking in front of geriatrics. It sounded like it happened right there. And I'm looking down towards the building, the main building, and I can't find anything. And I thought, oh my gosh, I wonder if it's my group. So I ran back inside to go check on my group.
Yeah.
Well, Zach is in the basement, or not the basement, first floor medical. And he ran up the ramp to check on his group.
Yeah.
Well, my group said, no, man, it came from outside. So I went back down to figure it out. And as I'm coming out the door of geriatrics, Zach's coming out the door of medical. He looked at me and he goes, dude, are you okay? I'm like, that wasn't me. I said, that was not me. And he told me it came right down the ramp. He was down close to the ramp, and he said, oh my gosh, you should have heard how loud it was. I said, you should have heard it out here.
Yeah.
And
it's got to be pretty loud.
There's a lady on the third floor of medical that screams. And we're looking around for what happened. I mean, we're checking everything. Now, it's about time to change buildings, and we're getting ready to go into medical. And some of Zach's group says, we got something to show you. And they have it on video. They were doing a session.
Yeah.
And they said, can you do this? They were asking questions and stuff. And they said, we'd love to hear that scream.
Oh.
It wasn't 10 seconds after they said that.
Yeah. Wow.
That it screamed. And I looked at him and I joked to him. I said, so you caused me and Zach to run all over everywhere.
Yep.
But it's awesome. I mean, and to hear it, you'll never forget it.
Yeah. I mean,
and
blood curdling.
And after all these years, I'd never heard it until now.
Yeah. Wow.
I'd heard other people say, yeah, we've heard that scream out there. And then we were in the main building one night, and we were on ward 6, and we heard a woman scream. And I'm like, that just came from medical. I guarantee you. And nobody's out there.
Yeah.
But and I forget the room number that it is, but I can walk you right to it.
Yeah, you know how to walk there with no lights on, but hard to remember the number.
Yeah.
I get that. Yeah, I see on the website right now there's renovations going on right now.
Yeah, they're working on some different areas. All the center sections have been fully restored.
Oh, gotcha. Awesome.
And they're working on some other areas, just like patching walls and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I don't know if they're going down D. They've got all of Ward A done.
You are listening to Strange Talk on Radio Artifact on 1660 AM in Northside and 91.7 FM HD to WVXU in Cincinnati.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I was all over that building that night, but I wasn't paying attention for renovations.
Yeah. Are you still doing ghost tours even during the renovations?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. I wasn't sure if that affected your hours or just the, it looks like it's mostly the history section.
12 months out of the year, we're there.
Yeah, amazing.
And I know people don't believe me, but there was one night I was a guide. My wife was managing that night.
Mm-hmm.
It was 19 below in the building. 19 below zero in the building.
Way too cold.
And it was absolutely miserable, but we had activity.
Yeah.
And I went down one night to, I was guiding and managing, so it was a private, just a 2-hour tour.
Mm-hmm.
And I just went down to do it, and it was 6 degrees below zero outside. And I was sweeping off the porch and everything because it snowed, and I was getting it where everybody could get up in there easy.
Yeah.
I waited there for an hour and nobody showed up.
That's too cold for that.
I called one of the other managers at the time, and I said, I'm going home.
Yeah.
And I locked it up and went to the house.
Mm-hmm.
They never did show up.
Yeah, wow. I guess it was just too cold.
Yeah. And last weekend, I mean, it's warming up outside.
Yeah.
But the inside of that building is still brutally cold because the walls are 2 feet thick.
Oh, wow.
So when it warms up outside, it pushes the cold inside.
Oh.
And it has to warm through the walls and then warm the interior up.
Mm-hmm.
And oh my gosh, it gets it doesn't warm up. It doesn't warm up till depending on the spring.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it'll warm up about the middle of May, and sometimes it doesn't warm up till 1st of June.
Oh wow, it takes a long time to get through the walls and warm everything.
Yeah, it's got to stay warm at night too.
I guess you probably don't feel a lot of cold spots in there then if it's just cold all the time.
Not when it's that cold, you don't.
Yeah.
I was hoping it'd be hot spots.
You're always like, please, come on, give me one. I just need to warm up a little bit. Well, we're hitting the top of the hour here. Is there anything else you want to tell people about the asylum before we have to sign off?
October is the flashlight tours, and it starts the weekend before. So September, the last weekend of September through the first weekend of November. And we've got 3 new flashlight tours this year, different routes.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Then we've got the haunted house, and it's rated one of the best. And it is actually in the tuberculosis building.
Oh, that's cool.
And the old TB building. And it's all 4 floors.
That's super cool. And
then the flashlight tours end. You can't buy tickets, I don't think, after 11. The flashlight tours, because we start the overnight at midnight.
Yeah.
And come see us.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're into it, we've got people that's come from all over. I know I've had people from Scotland in my group. There's been England, Australia, I forget where all. They've come from all over the world.
Yeah.
It's 200. It's 242,000 square feet.
Wow, that's massive.
It's the second largest hand-cut stone building in the world.
Yeah.
Second to the Kremlin in Moscow.
Wow.
So
That's just massive.
it is, and they do the outer buildings, medical, geriatric, and forensics,
Mm-hmm.
and the main building during October.
Gotcha.
And then they do the 3 outer buildings certain times through the year. I don't know exactly
Yeah.
when. You just have to keep an eye out for
Keep an
them.
eye on the website.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Well, I'm already talking to my friends about going out there because I've wanted to see out there for a while, and we usually go out to Mothman Festival every year, and I'm like, we should swing by here too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And make sure you request me.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
I'll throw that little plug in there. But yeah, I've got it very seldom disappoints.
Yeah.
And usually, and I always tell everybody, if it's a quiet night, check your audio.
Yeah, because sometimes it just means you're not hearing it right then.
Or we've had nights that everybody thinks nothing happened. And I tell them, check your audio. And usually you get quite a bit.
Yeah.
And that was another one. I went into Jane's room last weekend. And I said, Kaylee told me to tell you hi. That's my daughter. She's a daytime paranormal and history guide. And I said, do you know Kaylee? And the EVP came back, and it's a woman's voice, very loud, echoed in the room with me. No. So, and I didn't think anything was going on, but I always use my dowsing rods and set up my recorder. That's my go-to.
Yeah. It's amazing. What did your daughter have to say about that?
Oh, I sent it to her that night, and I said, did you hear it? She says, yes, with a bunch of exclamation marks behind it.
She was just trying to say hi.
But everybody uses me as the trigger throughout the building. They throw my name out. So I figured I'd see if they knew my daughter.
Yeah.
And then, just about the whole family works down there.
Yeah.
During October.
Yeah, well, busy time of year.
A bunch of my kids have worked the haunted house. And I always tell everybody to watch out because they're brutal.
Well, they're probably aiming for you, especially when you go through there.
They can try. The haunted house stuff doesn't really bother me.
Yeah.
When you're used to walking the other building.
Yeah.
Jump scares. Every once in a while you might get startled a little bit, and I tell them, hey, good job. But then when you're in the main building and you have the real thing happen, it's like, oh crap.
Yeah, it's a little bit more scary.
It's a little more real then.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for talking with me. This has been great. You've got so many good stories from there.
That's just from there. I've been to a bunch of different places.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to get you back on to talk about some of the other places too.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds good to me.
Yeah.
Moundsville is my second.
Moundsville?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The West Virginia State Penitentiary. Yeah. That's my other favorite.
Your other haunt, I guess.
Yeah. Yep, my other favorite place to go, I should say.
Awesome. We'll definitely have to talk about that. And I will. I'll keep checking your YouTube page to see when you get around to uploading your other stuff as well.
Yeah, I need to make myself get after that. I just saw a meme today about that.
Yeah.
It says me going to do my going to do my evidence review. And he says my ADHD, and it's got this little guy dancing, walking away from it. And I'm like, yep, that's me.
Yeah, I feel that. That's why Cal is in charge of emailing now. Is I'm always like, I need to email this person back, and then it's gone the minute I think that. So.
Yep, I understand fully.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Oh, you're good. Well, we're gonna go ahead and sign off.
Okay.
So good night and good luck.